The African Traditional Spiritual Coalition is made up of practitioners and devotees of African religions and spiritual practices.
In 1999, Iani Ifa, Mother Pamela Taylor, and members of the Yoruba Temple sent out a cry about the global devastation that was seen in a vision. She organized religious and spiritual groups to come together for the purpose of individual, community, and national healing.
That call today remains our mission: to create spaces for healing and unity of the individual and of the nation.
It is our honor to present these mini-series to our community. They were created with you in mind. They are packed with information and practices for individual growth and development.
May the creators and sustainers of light, peace, and well-being be with you. Medasi.
Asheo.
Ikaro, Akwaba, Hotep, welcome. My name is Ogun Sutito, and I will be your host for today's discussion on dealing with stress while Black. My co-host is the lovely Iya Oloshunde, my beautiful wife.
Thank you. Together, we hope to bring you useful information that will allow you to live a life that is less stressful while Black.
So sit back, relax.
No, really relax.
After all this presentation is about learning how to deal with stress in a healthy way. Today's format will follow an interview style, where I ask the questions.
And I give the answers, along with some from my husband, of course.
Of course. So let's get started, okay?
Okay.
I think today's discussion should cover three main components. First, what is stress in a general sense? Second, how does stress impact our daily lives? And third, what are some things we can do to manage our stress on a daily basis? Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Awesome. So let's begin. What is stress? And is stress necessarily a bad thing?
Okay. Well, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, stress is how the brain and body respond to any demand. Any type of challenge, such as performance or work or school, a significant life change, or a traumatic event.
Okay. I noticed that in that explanation, there was no explicit indication that stress in itself is a bad thing. Did you notice that as well?
Yes, and I think that is a very important point to consider. Actually, stress is a natural occurring phenomenon. So the goal should not be to eliminate stress, but ultimately, we should probably strive to manage our stress in a healthy kind of way.
Okay, so stress can have both a positive and a negative impact on our mental and physical well-being.
Absolutely, it can.
I've always heard the term pressure bursts pipes, but pressure can also turn a lump of coal into a precious diamond.
That's correct. Routine stress can come from work, family, school, or other responsibilities. Stress can come about by a sudden change in your life, such as a promotion or losing a job, marriage or divorce, or even your state of health can cause stress.
Well, when your body is experiencing stress, you might notice that your pulse quickens, you breathe faster, your muscles tense up, and your brain uses more oxygen in order to trigger that survival, fight or flight instinct, or whatever the appropriate response might be.
And traumatic stress experienced during a major event, like an assault or an act of war, a natural disaster.
Or a global pandemic.
Yes. Stress brought about by trauma may require professional help. But the good news is that most people actually recover naturally.
I think it's important to note that long-term stress can also be harmful to your health.
That's true. Long-term stress is actually a chronic condition. And the body responds differently in stress over longer periods of time. The body doesn't receive a clear message from the brain to return to normal functioning. Some internal systems that can be disrupted are the immune system, the digestive, cardiovascular, sleep, and the reproductive systems.
Over time, continued strain on your body from stress can contribute to serious health problems like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, as well as other illnesses, including mental health issues such as depression and anxiety.
Absolutely.
So far, we've talked about stress in the general sense. Why don't we take a look at how stress disproportionately impacts people of color? So I will put the question to you directly. Why is stress different for our people?
And racism. That deals with a whole nother level of stress. As we've been pushed down and we're struggling to get back up, we're not at the equal playing field. So you have gender inequality, you have racial inequality, and those add on an added stress. So we have within our community a large disproportionate amount of people who have heart disease and diabetes, and that comes from the stress. It's just an add-on.
Okay, so when I think about stress in our community, the two groups that immediately come to mind for me are the elders and the young people. Mm-hmm. In an article from the American Psychological Association entitled African American Older Adults and Race-Related Stress, it was pointed out that we have about 4 million elders, or people over 65, in the African American community currently. That number is expected to go up to about 12 million by the year 2060. Now, with all of the advances in modern medicine, all groups of people are living longer. However, Black people are living longer with more chronic health conditions. Therefore, the quality of life is not equal to the quantity of life. The article goes on to say, what is race-related stress and how does it impact older African American adults? Race-related stress occurs when an individual experiences or witnesses racist incidents and evoke social or historical experiences of racism. For African American older adults, these encounters are accumulated over the lifespan, stored in memory, and relived with each new racist and discriminatory experience. Age also impacts an individual's mental and physical response to racism. For African American older adults, exposure to cumulative experiences of racism has resulted in limited access to resources such as education, employment, healthcare, housing, and political participation, contributing to health disparities and increased rates of mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, and dementia.
And then you have on the other end, the children, those children who have witnessed or experienced some terrible act of aggression,
Trauma.
They have difficulty in learning through that. So you can imagine if you've seen one trauma or two traumas or even 3 or 4, that gives you
nightmares.
Yeah, nightmares, but
and stress.
Stretches you out in another kind of way. I don't know.
Well, according to the Economic Policy Institute, children with more stressful life experiences have a greater likelihood of suffering from academic problems as well as behavior problems.
Yes. And so you can see that children might act out in a manner because they are witnessing things or even wanting the attention. So that behavior becomes a problem and it's hard to deal with. And really they're looking for love in a lot of the wrong places or through a different act.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot. So what I want to do is I want to wind down and give you guys some helpful, hopefully, tips on how to deal with stress in your own life. I call these top 5 out of all the little pieces of information that we found. These are the top 5. And so let's give it to them.
All right.
All right, number 1, exercise. Physical stress relieves mental stress. Your body produces less stress hormones when you are exercising. Stress improves sleep quality as well as improves confidence.
Yes. And then number 2, spending time with friends and family. As long as those people in your lives are being positive, helping to uplift you, that's a good thing.
Number 3, laughter. Laughter really is the best medicine. One of the things that laughter does is that it relieves tension in your muscles immediately. Laughter over time can also improve your immune system.
And number 4, we'll say getting outside, being with nature. Looking at the trees, even hugging a tree, walking in the dirt, jumping in the water puddles, looking at the sunshine, seeing the clouds float by. Just being out in nature allows you to relieve stress.
Excellent. And number 5, learn the value of saying no. Not all of our stresses are within our control, but some are. So it's important that we take control over the parts of our life that we can. Be selective in choosing your projects and be intentional about who you let into your life. And with that, I think we've concluded our presentation, but I did want to remind you that if you are experiencing stress and you can't seem to navigate it, always, always, always seek the help of a medical professional.
Yes, and there's no shame in that game. Reminding that the brain is a part of the body, another muscle, so we need help in that area. There's no shame in going and seeking that help.
No shame in my game. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this presentation, and I hope that you found some benefit. Peace and blessings.
Yes, thank you.